At this point, fuck it. I'm gonna be a conscientious objector and say I'm just a humanist. A friend used an analogy of it's better to not get involved in these wars because all you get is collateral damage. Talking about the culture, ideology, argument, whatever you want to call it, wars going on between things like feminists and MRAs. And I generally agree with that idea that in a war, there's no winner. There's only casualties on both sides, and I prefer to not take a side, but instead help both sides to come together, mediate with them, and maybe we can work together or at least come to some mutual understanding. But the division between MRAs and feminists is just arbitrary in my opinion. Not only that, but it's counterproductive, because all it is doing is reinforcing the same thing that they don't seem to like. Under the assumption that either of them is just sexually egalitarian, then dividing themselves in that way only further establishes that same fence of gender that they both seem to want to break down. And as someone who refuses to take either side, I could be seen as a fence sitter, but I am precisely one of the people sitting here saying, fuck the fence. Instead of further establishing our divisions based on gender, how about we just work together to try and solve the issues that everybody has regardless of gender? Oh, but look at the difference between what feminists say and what they do. What a wonderfully inspecific non-argument. Well, there's reverse discrimination. And there's a reason we have a name for it, because it's well understood, and that doesn't mean it's going to stick around. Especially under the assumption that we're sexually egalitarian, because that means we're working towards people not being discriminated against based on their sex. But men have more problems, but women have more problems, but we all have fucking problems. Can we please all come together, pool our resources a little, and thereby try to actually find solutions to these issues instead of he said, she said, fighting constantly, not solving any fucking issues, but just arguing and mentally masturbating while placating to a bunch of sycophants. Basically, I'm calling out both sides, because both sides have their extreme elements. One that says that we should castrate all men, and one that says that we should go with some traditionalist, misogynist bullshit of women should be in the kitchen and whatnot. And the extreme sides of both sides are what is most prevalent and vocal. Well, I've never heard a single MRA say anything as extreme as this traditionalist, misogynist stuff. Then you're ignoring the bulk of your movement. Well, I've never heard a single feminist say anything so extreme as... Yeah, then you've been ignoring a lot of the supposed leaders in your movement that are most prevalent. And so each side attacks the other based on those extreme elements, and it's just a big fucking back and forth, self-feeding cycle of bullshit. So can all of us moderates here in the middle kind of just get over our stupid bullshit, please? Issues on both sides are blind to their own issues and overhype the issues on the other side because... Get off the fucking playground, you third graders. Let's try and have a fucking conversation.